Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to talk about 4 lifting lies that need to die. Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. All right, there's a lot of bullshit in lifting, in muscle building, in strength training, in power building, whatever your fetish is. There's a lot of bullshit out there. These are 4 things that I hear over and over and over again. One of them I just heard yesterday, and I'm not going to name drop, but it was in a Scott Herman video. See, that was a name drop. That was supposed to be funny, but I'll get into that shortly. Number 1, before I get into the Scott Herman faux pas, the number 1 lifting lie I want to address is that explosive rows are cheating, are bad for you, are just something you shouldn't do. When it comes to barbell and dumbbell rows, more specifically pendlay rows, or what I do, putting my dumbbell rows, pulling them off of the ground, off of the floor, off of the gym mat, it triggers people. Every time I post a video on Instagram, somebody, some fitness knucklehead always has to chime in and talk about cheating or explosiveness or whatnot. And I got to tell you, I got to frame it like this. When you are doing a bench press, you have to explode the bar off your chest or you're not going to gain any momentum. That is how a bench press is performed. If you do not explode it, if you just try to baby it off your chest, you're not going to build a lot of strength. You're not going to move a lot of weight. An explosive initial push is required on the bench press. Same thing for a squat. When you're in the hole on a squat, you don't just gently come up like you're doing a fucking ballet performance. You explode out of the hole. Same thing with deadlift. You don't just, I'm going to ease the bar up off the ground because if I don't, I'm not getting any muscle activation. Fuck that stupid shit. I mean, it's just nonsense. And the same thing goes with barbell rows or dumbbell rows. Stop overthinking this stuff and get strong. So many of these guys have such piss poor row strength. They need a little bit of explosiveness in their life. They need a little bit of drive. I mean, seriously, 70-pound dumbbell rows, I've seen teenagers do that shit, time to up their standards. But, you know, all the silliness aside, cheating, that's not cheating. That's part of how a compound movement works. When you move on to more machine things, isolation work, then you want to be more slow and controlled. That's okay. The hard work is done. But explosiveness is not something to fear, and it's not something that's going to cause you to lose gains. It's quite the opposite. You want to have good form, and you want to have an initial explosiveness, engage those muscle fibers, and let's get those suckers to grow. All right, the second lifting lie that must die, and this is, again, I'm not going to name drop, but it comes from Scott Herman's channel. Again, that's humor. All right, I happen to be rolling through the sludge bowl that is YouTube, and I came across a video by Scott Herman. I'm not going to drop it in here because it's rather pointless, and you can search it out yourself. I'm not making this shit up, but I just watched him ramble on for like 3 or 4 minutes, babble on, run his mouth, talking about how ass to grass squats are the way, are the best way, are the healthiest way, and this is absolute bullshit. Scott Herman aside, okay? With his Boston accent or fake Boston accent or whatever the fuck it is, I really don't care. Scott Herman aside, ass to grass squats are not required. It's not a competition of how close you can get your butt down to the ground. That's absolute silliness. It's arbitrary. It's an arbitrary goal, okay? It's just not needed. What you need for knee health is to get to parallel or slightly below. If you're a quarter squat or half squat, you're putting shear stress on the knees because it is more anterior dominant. You're not calling into play the posterior chain, your hips, your hamstrings, etc. So it's more anterior dominant. Once you get to slightly below parallel, that anterior posterior balance comes into play, and that's what you need for good knee health. Herman was talking about you need to go to ass to grass for good knee health. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's, again, it's not a competition to see how low you can take your pretty little buttocks to the ground. That's an arbitrary standard. In addition, encouraging people to go ass to grass. What happens most of the time, because the majority of lifters watching this are not experienced, not highly experienced lifters. No offense meant, but they haven't spent 8 to 10 years squatting. What's going to happen when they try to go ass to grass is they're going to get way down there and they're going to experience some butt wink and their lower back's going to round. They're going to lose lower back tightness. It's going to cause them to lean forward and they're going to jack up their lower back. So there's Herman telling people to ass to grass squat is insane on so many levels. It's so naive. It's so undereducated. Just be careful, Scott. You need to stay in your fucking lane. All right, the number 3 lifting lie that needs to die is that you need to worry about overtraining. Everybody's so concerned about overtraining. Am I overtraining? If I do this, will I be overtraining? Stop worrying about it. Overtraining is almost impossible to achieve. Number 1, you don't have that much time on your hands to spend the amount of time you need to in the gym to overtrain. It's just silliness. If you did, you probably need to if you did have that amount of time to spend in the gym and beat yourself up, you would be feeling it and you'd know you need to pull back. What you need to worry about more than overtraining is overworking movement patterns. One of the trends we have in the lifting industry is using the same lifts many, many, many times a week. I'm not a big proponent of that because it lends itself to overuse injuries, which is more of an issue. Think about running. If you run a lot, you tend to pick up there's a higher chance you're going to pick up overuse injuries. The more you do a specific movement pattern, the higher the likelihood you're going to pick up an overuse injury. So you have to be very, very careful about that. You shouldn't be benching 4 times a week. If you're going to squat 3 times a week, you really have to be careful about your intensity, listen to your body. So overuse injuries. Somebody that just does a lot of barbell bench press and, doesn't use a lot of other variations, you're going to increase the likelihood of an overuse injury. That should be a greater concern than overtraining. Overtraining just is something most of us never, ever have to worry about, and the whole entire concept needs to die. All right, the 4th lifting lie that needs to die is that fancy crap, big steaming piles of fancy crap should be your focus. Your focus should be on progressive overload. Your focus should be on a reasonable exercise selection. Your focus should be on a reasonable amount of training volume. Your focus should be on eating appropriately for your goals, okay, fat loss, muscle building, whatever, being consistent, and your focus should be on patience, all right? All the other fancy crap is like icing on the cake. Drop sets, special fancy fucking programs by Mr. Uber Olympia, whatever the fuck his name is, or Mr. Super Powerlifter with big juicy testicles. All that kind of shit is just icing on the cake. Don't focus, don't obsess with the little things, the trees. View the forest, look at the forest, the big picture, kids, the big picture. Stop focusing on all the little shit. You want to do drop sets, that's cool. You want to do rest pause, that's cool. You want to do giant sets, that's cool. You want to do all that happy horse shit, that's cool. But the thing that drives progress over time will be a good exercise selection, progressive overload, a reasonable amount of volume, and getting your head out of your ass when it comes to your diet. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.